Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm glad you stayed with us. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. And with me now I have Ride Connection, who has already been making me laugh before the cameras came on. It's always good to have you back, Leslie Garth, who is the Transportation Coordinator Extraordinaire. And Pam Monahan, you are the Volunteer Outreach Specialist. Good to have you back, too.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, ladies. And tell me, what is new and different at Ride Connection since we last talked? What's going on there?
We've been busy. Last year, we provided 500,000 rides, and that's between Ride Connection and all of our partner agencies around the Tri-County area. So that's a lot of people going a lot of places.
That's a lot of people. So for those who don't know, Ride Connection provides rides to seniors, disabled community. Who all do you provide rides to?
Seniors and people with disabilities, and disability can be self-declared.
Okay.
So
you
don't have to have like a doctor note.
Yeah.
We don't come out and assess you and make sure you're disabled.
Is that a real limp or
yeah.
is that, yeah.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah,
so
okay.
it's pretty easy to get connected with Ride Connection. It's done over the phone. Takes about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, and the services are mostly provided by volunteers, right? I mean, you have your staff, obviously, but the drivers are for the most part volunteers, or some?
About a third of our drivers, so I'd say about 340 volunteers.
Wow, that's a lot.
There. Some volunteers will volunteer for an hour. We have one
an
volunteer
hour, like
once a week.
Okay.
But we actually have a volunteer. He won an award with us just last year. He drives 5 days a week.
Whew.
He's retired.
It's like a full-time job.
He does it because he loves it. He loves getting people out and about, and it's satisfying for him. And so we're so thankful to have him. But people can volunteer for whatever's convenient for them.
Which I think is really the beauty of Ride Connection for volunteers, is that you have that flexibility.
Yes, I think that's the key right there.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of volunteers, especially out in East County, trying to get more volunteers in the Mid-County area. But I always let the volunteers know that you're my boss. So you tell me what you like, what hours you like to work, or volunteer, should I say, because it's exciting. And I would make it happen. Just today I had a volunteer come in. He says, Leslie, he's been watching his twin grandchildren lately.
And he busy.
Says, yes, it's very busy. He said, I think I'd like to start a little later in the morning. Instead of 8:30, can we make it 10 o'clock? And I said, yeah, we can make it 10 o'clock, 10 to 2. And he says, yeah, that'd be perfect. If you need me a little longer, I'm willing to do whatever I can. And those, the demand is there. So,
right. So you're able to...
we're able to accommodate anyone's schedule.
That's great. Now, Pam is the volunteer coordinator. What are some of the volunteer opportunities available? Is it all driving? Are there other volunteer opportunities?
Well, we have a lot of driving opportunities.
That's the main thing, I'm sure.
Yep. So, taking people to dialysis, taking people to or from cancer treatment, taking people to the community center, the senior center.
So it's not all just appointments.
Not all just medical.
As well.
Yep. So if someone wants to go visit, their spouse across town in a care facility, if they want to go take an art class, or they want to volunteer themselves, we love to be able to get people where they want to go.
I bet you that's something a lot of people don't think about. It's like, I'd love to go volunteer there, but I don't have a way to get there because I don't want to drive anymore. Because as we get older, a lot of us have a little harder time driving, and that would be a real concern for a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's all important. Our lives aren't one-dimensional, so everybody has things that they want to do. Everybody has things that they love to do, and so people shouldn't be deprived of that just because they don't drive. And so it's wonderful to match great volunteers up with people who may want to just get out and be around people and be connected with the community.
Right, because that's important, and that's important for everybody's health as well as anything else. Getting out and being part of the community, like the Meals on Wheels people that share a building with you. It's like getting out and making those connections with people. And you provided a short video, I think, that can you set it up for me, what it is we'll be watching in this video?
Sure. So it features Dawn and Jaquita, and Dawn has been driving with us with one of our partner agencies for several years now. He's an RVer, so he loves driving the big vehicles, but he spends a lot of time in an accessible minivan so that he can drive riders that use power chair, wheelchair, and just a neat guy. And so it's kind of about his relationship with one of his regular riders, who is also just a beautiful human being and a great friend to Ride Connection.
Great. Well, let's take a look at that now.
I'm retired. I'm a good driver. I have been all my life. I do a lot of RVing, so driving big rigs, things like that. And I saw an ad in the paper, it was many years ago, talking about Ride Connection needing volunteer drivers. So I applied. I've never regretted it.
Don is one of my favorite drivers. We've been driving together for years, and I feel like he's just extended family to me. I really do. He's just a wonderful guy and is always very helpful to me, and we always have a great time when we're riding together.
My favorite part, boy, you know, there's so many, well, one, you get to meet so many nice people. I mean, and also knowing how much everybody appreciates getting to ride. Because if they didn't, they'd be in trouble. And I know it makes me emotional at times too.
It's just so great because it enables me to get from point A to point B with wonderful people safely, and it just makes my life go so much easier. If I couldn't get a ride, I probably would be stuck taking a cab or at the mercy of finding rides from other people.
You just get a feeling of satisfaction knowing people appreciate what you're doing. I've got the time, I'm retired. This type of volunteer and the dispatchers make it so easy, I don't feel like it's a job. The way they work it, I get an email usually Tuesday or Wednesday in a week, and they'll say, Don, are there any days next week when you can drive? Well, when I look at my calendar, I say, yeah, well, put me down for any 2 days except blank and blank. And that works out fine. It's not like another job. It's something that I can do in my spare time.
If someone is looking for an opportunity to drive, I just think that you get so much out of it. It would be more than a volunteer opportunity and of helping someone. You would also get the joy of getting to meet people who will have this need of transportation and getting out around the community. But basically just the interaction that you would have with your passenger would be so meaningful to you as a driver, and it'd just be a wonderful way to give up your time.
Wow. So
That's powerful.
that's the story, isn't it?
It does. It really does. It resonates with all the volunteers. I have volunteers that's been driving for the East County for 8 years. Wow. And she's right. And I love the fact that he says he can set his own days when he's available, because it is whatever the driver wants. We can accommodate them in any ways and times.
Right,
It's
so you
up
make
to
it
them.
easy for them, really.
Oh, we definitely do.
Yeah, and those kind of volunteer opportunities aren't always out there. You know, it's nice to be able to say, hey, I can work this. I can't work this. Is that okay? Yeah, we still want you.
Yes, exactly. I had a driver volunteer once that didn't have a vehicle, and so we made arrangements to go pick him up, bring him in, so he can do and pick up a vehicle, and he does his route. And then at the end of his shift, either a driver or another driver or myself take him home. I mean, these are the things that this is what you
Leslie's
do.
very creative.
Yeah,
very creative.
yeah, that's great.
And even if someone doesn't drive, you had asked about other volunteer opportunities. We need all sorts of help, and we appreciate volunteers so much in every aspect of what we do. So one area that I would love to find volunteers, especially in East County, people who are bilingual. You know, because we serve a really diverse population.
Especially out here in East County, yeah.
And it's wonderful to have people that are comfortable reaching out across the whole community to bring people in and introduce them to Ride Connection services.
And you know what's funny is that people think they have to be fluent. They don't have to be fluent. If you've got a kind of a grasp of a language and enough so that you can actually explain something simple to somebody, that's usually enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I think.
Yeah, and a smile.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but.
Yeah, kindness, friendliness, a smile, like that reaches across every culture.
Yeah, that's right. That's
but
right.
yeah, we love having people come in and work in the office, help us with, you know, all sorts of administrative duties. We do a lot of
data entry.
advocacy. So we every year we go down to Transit Day in Salem to advocate for good transportation and reliable transportation for older adults and people with disabilities. So whenever someone calls me and they love what we do and they see that it's important, I always ask them, what makes you happy? You know, what do you love to do? And let's find a way for you to get set in motion to do that thing that you're passionate about.
Right.
Because when people are passionate about what they're doing as a volunteer, it's everybody wins.
I think it's very apparent from watching that video that that gentleman got easily as much out of it as he put into it, which I think is the way it is with a lot of volunteering. But being able to kind of call your own shots on it and do it the way you want to do it has got to make it really a good experience. And then those connections, like that woman was talking about, you know, the connections you make with people. You're making friendships, especially if you're doing the same route frequently.
Right.
Which do most people want to do that? Is that their preference, or do they prefer the variety?
The volunteers, I have to admit, I got a great group of volunteers, especially out in East County. They do whatever is needed. You know, if I have a gentleman that's a vet, and he does 2 trips a week.
Okay.
Takes a lady to
Just
dialysis.
2 trips, just boom, boom, and boom, boom.
Drops her off at dialysis Monday and Wednesdays, and he says, I wish I could do more. And I said, no, you're doing enough. Don't. He works full time.
See, and I would have, I probably, if I had been looking for a volunteer opportunity, I would have thought, that's not nearly enough. That's not nearly enough. But that is enough.
That is enough, you know.
And she counts on him, right?
Yeah, she does. And they have a special relationship. And when he doesn't see her, if she cancels, he's want to make sure that she's okay. Call her, Leslie, and make sure she's okay. So it's.
And if somebody's
those type
going
of
through a
events.
medical situation where, just the fact that there's somebody that they know is taking him home, because that can wear you out emotionally, physically, spiritually, in every way. To having somebody that taking you and bringing you home, that's got to help.
It does.
Yeah, and it's a relief, especially when we have people coming from cancer treatment or coming from dialysis, and they may just be wiped out.
Of course, yeah.
And just having a friendly face that you can count on, that'll be
trust.
there, that you don't have to talk if you don't feel chatty.
Right.
But that's there, and that's happy to take you. That's everything. It's a huge relief.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah. So if somebody's interested in volunteering, we don't have a whole lot of time left, tell me what they need to do.
Okay, they can contact us at Ride Connection. So our main number is 503-226-0700, or they can go on our website, rideconnection.org.
Okay.
And any way that they want to reach out, we have people actually walk into our office, and your office is located right here in Gresham.
Right.
We've had a lot of great volunteers just
right
show
down the street
up.
from MetroEast.
They pop in and they say, "Hey, is Leslie here? I hear she'll buy me a cup of coffee if I want to volunteer." So we've had people come to us that way too.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you'll work with them, the area they want to drive to, or the days they want to drive, or the hours, or whatever. You'll be happy to work with them.
Absolutely.
They are in control.
Yeah, I like that.
They're
your
behind the
boss.
wheels, and they're my boss.
Great, that's great. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Leslie, for being on here today and sharing about Ride Connection. Continues to be a great organization, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
You bet. Thanks for watching this segment of Community Hotline. Ride Connection is a great organization that's been around for a while, and will continue with the help of volunteers like people watching this show. So do check them out. And don't go away. We'll be right back with a little more of Community Hotline.
Watching the channels at MetroEast Community Media.
Coming here to shoot my documentary was more than I ever would have dreamed of doing. This is a community media station.
It was phenomenal.
Ready Camera 1.
What is it about this place that makes so many different people come together?
Ready Camera 2.
Very professional, experienced people.
You can use these industry standard pieces of equipment.
Ready Camera 3. Take 3.
You don't have to be rich to do this.
Open people's eyes to something they've never even thought of before.
Cool stuff happens. It becomes this community.
That's going to really change who's telling the stories and who's controlling the messaging.